Seeing the neighbor's luxurious Seaview property, Ralph couldn't help but squeeze out another $10 million. With money pouring in, they sped down the fast track of development, and Hale seized the moment to expand the company's scale, giving the new hires just one mission, which was to keep scouring the bidding sites for big companies' leftover crumbs. To everyone's surprise, times L, they got an invite to a huge gig soon. One day, David opened the bidding site as usual. To his shock, a newly posted tender blew his mind, prompting him to rush for Hill, who lived upstairs. The procurement numbers left them dumbfounded, see a whopping 360,000 sniper rifles, plus 1.84 million GP-30 grenades, 45,000 anti-tank missiles, and one 7.62 rifle bullet, numbers far beyond their wildest, but the chance to bag a single bullet had them over the moon, so they specially attended the Las Vegas defense show to find suppliers. Even though they'd bagged orders in Afghanistan a few times, the partners they engaged with now left them disheartened. A pile of permits stacked up like birthday cards, far exceeding their capabilities. But luck was on their side. While David was killing time at the poker table, they unexpectedly bumped into Arms tycoon Henry, who immediately opened new doors for them. Henry was on the U.S. government's watch list for various reasons, so he needed a new frontman to make this deal, and Newby's Hill and David fit the bill perfectly. Henry told them Albania had plenty of ready bullets, as it was urgent to join NATO and clear Soviet stockpiles. He claimed he had connections everywhere, selling bullets for just 10 cents each. Such terms were a jackpot. They flew to Albania at once and planned a fireworks show. The goods stunned them with ammo, planes, tanks, and heavy weapons. This warehouse alone had 126 million bullets. But since these bullets were from 40 years ago, they worried whether these little gadgets still worked. However, the manager confidently picked up a rifle, and bullets came out as smooth as butter. Hill's face lit up like a child's, and they swiftly signed a bullet contract with Henry, then flew back to the U.S. They submitted their bidding documents just in time before the deadline, ensuring they had enough competitive edge. While setting the bid at $300 after 5 months' wait, they got good news on vacation. But after the wild celebrations, navigating the government qualification review became their biggest headache. Since they had no real financial advisor, they had to forge the past 3 years' financial sheets before the interviews. After mining some Photoshop magic, they arrived just in time for the interview, but surprisingly, the interviewers didn't care about their forged documents at all. The interviewers just blinked once and announced they'd passed the qualifications for contracting. Subtitles, but just as David was brimming with excitement and on the verge of success, Hill detected a subtle oddity from the evaluators. You guys are $530,000 lower than your competitor's bid. This news nearly sent Hill over the edge. But considering the contract had a 300% markup, there was more than enough profit for them to take it easy. Previously just verbally agreeing on the profit split, David immediately drafted a formal purchase contract. Although Hill signed, he had other plans brewing in his mind. Soon, David headed to Albania alone to oversee the loading, but he uncovered a huge problem. The bullets stocked in the Albanian warehouse weren't made in the USSR. They were entirely from Chinese military aid. Bullets labeled in Chinese clearly wouldn't pass U.S. military checks, forcing him to endlessly call Henry for help. But Henry said he only handles sourcing. Other issues are none of his concern. Hill had to rush to Albania and tell David it was too late to look for a new supplier. The only solution was to change the packaging. Look at this. Let's switch the labels to Russian and foreign currency sign. It's now Albanian. Though legal, the duo had no choice but to take a gamble, so that afternoon they sought the biggest packaging company. They claimed 10 workers could finish in 8 weeks, and the boss initially quoted $100,000, negotiating seriously. Deep down inside, they were secretly sweating bullets and almost suffered from internal tension, just sitting by the side. Thorough packaging, they managed to reduce the load by about 180 tons. Just the air freight saved them nearly $3 million in net profit. Even though they were rolling in dough, Hill couldn't shake off his suspicions about Henry's hidden secrets. He learned that Henry only paid $2.50 for ammo, while charging them quadruple. Hill found it unbearable and planned to bypass Henry, dealing directly with the Albanian military. Hearing this, David immediately became anxious. He reminded Hill that they got the order thanks to Henry's behind-the-scenes matchmaking, and everything was priced openly. If they cut Henry out now due to jealousy, it would not only be a huge loss but also jeopardize their safety. David warned Hill to keep his head on straight or he'd catch the next flight home. No sooner said than done. That night, armed men burst into David's hotel room. They beat him black and blue before tossing him into the trunk of a car. Then they took him to an old factory where Henry showed up unexpectedly, and David suddenly pieced it all together. Fortunately, Henry wasn't out for blood, just gave him a stern warning and turned to leave. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. More exciting content awaits you.